Okay. You do have sound? That's a yes? This is so crazy. YouTube. Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm gonna give it a few minutes. We had quite a few people on, so let everybody come back and join. Yay. Hello. Hello, beautiful souls, beautiful, powerful souls. I am Laurie Micah, the host of the Laurie Micah YouTube channel, where we primarily interview people who have had near death experiences, spiritually transformative experiences, out of body experiences, channelers, mediums. If it's spiritual, I love to have a conversation. And I am so blessed to be able to have time with you on Wake Up Wednesday Live. And as always, this time is for you. I encourage you to post your questions in the comments. I'll get to all of them. You can ask me anything. You can ask me things about spiritual topics. You can ask me questions about guests, past guests. You can make comments. You can interact with each other, have fun. Please, if you have a name that is not obvious of what your name is, tell me in your question what your name is so that I can get to know you. I'm just so excited to be here with everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties. My microphone was completely plugged in the whole time. I don't know what happened. And there wasn't a button that allowed me to re-add my microphone. So I kept trying to unplug it, plug it back in. It didn't work. But we're all good here and we're here now and you're back. And I so appreciate you. So while I'm waiting for the comments to get heated up and for you to put your questions in the chat, I will share my synchronicities for this week. I had quite a few of them. And what I will share with you is that I was very fortunate this weekend to have a journey with my shaman who came into town. And it was an unbelievable experience, as it always is. This was number 25 and 26 for me. And these are very difficult to understand, I think, if you haven't had them, but they are very near-death experience-like for me and the ones that I experience. And what I love about these experiences is how much the other side talks to me leading up to these. And so I was sharing before that one of the ways that the universe loves to speak to me is through license plates. And the thing that's so special about license plates is that you have to be at a very specific place to see one. Like if you are 5 minutes later, 5 minutes earlier, you're not going to see it unless you're driving for hundreds and hundreds of miles on a highway. And then maybe you will. But in any case, on Friday, I had to go run an errand and then go and pick up two people from the airport. And on my way to the airport, I passed this incredible license plate. You ready? Hertz 1111. Like seriously, I could not make this stuff up. So that was my fun synchronicity. I also had two others, one on Monday and one on Wednesday leading up to the week. And then today, it's Wake Up Wednesday. I had to go run an errand. And I got in my car and turned it on, and I listened to XM radio. There are a few stations that I listen to. I'm not consistent. I used to be, but I'm really not anymore. And lately I've been listening to John Mayer's station, and it was on this morning when I went on my hike. And when I started the car, I could not believe my eyes. I have only ever one other time, the day of one of my journeys, have I seen this band on the XM radio. Yep. Toad the wet sprocket, as I'm going to come online to talk about my 5-MeO DMT journey for a minute, which is also called the toad or bufo. It's known as the most powerful psychedelic on the planet. It's 5-MeO DMT, and what it does is when you use this medicine, I call it a medicine because these are very sacred journeys to me. These are not done for recreation. I have a very, very deep spiritual experience, and I will liken these to a near-death experience. And the one that I had was very, very powerful. And one of the messages that I got was that it's so important to go within for your answers. I think Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. Many, many spiritual teachers have talked about this, and I'm not saying discount people like me or my channel or anybody else, because I certainly do listen to and consume a lot of YouTube. But I guess what the message really means to me is that as you are on your journey, you're always getting new perspectives and new information. And I feel like we become new people when we're on these spiritual journeys every 6 months, every 3 months, every year, because we are exposed to so many new ideas. But it's always smart and important to check back in here, like in your heart space with your gut. Like, does it really resonate with you? And you know when things don't resonate. If you're kind of unsure of them, they don't make sense, maybe examine them a little bit and then let them go if they're not for you right now. Maybe they'll be for you later. Maybe they'll never be for you, but it's really important to always check in. And I was thinking about this as I finished my hike today and I was driving home. And of course, it's Wednesday, Wake Up Wednesday. I know I was going to be speaking with you tonight. And I saw a license plate in front of me driving. And I swear to God, I am not driving around looking for personalized license plates. That's not how this works for me. I'm driving normally, and then all of a sudden my attention is drawn, or I would drive up behind a car, and this was really a cool coincidence. So here's the car that I drove up behind. I got to go this way. See, sorry. I know I've got a little bit of a glare, but if you can see that, it says Me Hearts, Hearts. I'm sorry, I'm really having a hard time because it's so light in this one. But it says Me Hearts on this one. And then I immediately saw another, and now this is blocked a little bit by his bike rack, but it says Inside Job. Inside Job. And what was super cool is that the two of them were driving right next to each other with Me Heart and Inside Job. I know it's super, super hard to see. You probably cannot see it at all. So you'll have to take my word for it. But I love a double message. Like, what are the chances that two license plates that are personalized with kind of a connected message would be driving next to each other at the same moment with me behind it? Like, pretty much zero. That has only, in all the times I've been getting signs and synchronicities, a license plate related to each other, driving next to each other, has only ever happened one other time. So this was a super special message for me. Inside Job and Hearts on a license plate was like check in with your heart, check in to the inside, to the core. I mean, super special. If you guys have signs and synchronicities and you would like to share them, I'm open to hearing them. I love your signs and synchronicities. I always say your signs and synchronicities confirm mine. I hope mine confirm yours as well. Sometimes we don't have a safe place where we get to share these because not everybody believes in true signs. They sometimes think that they're coincidence, that you're seeing what you want to see. We do have a part of the brain, it's called reticular activation, and we are motivated to sometimes see what we're seeking. So if you've ever decided, I'm going to get a new car, and then you decide on a specific kind of car, all of a sudden you'll notice that that car is everywhere around you. Or maybe you decide that you are going to have a baby, and the next thing you know, you see people who are pregnant everywhere you look. So I know that there's that part of the brain, but I also know, having been on the other side now many times, that to me, there are no coincidences, and the universe is frantically trying to get our attention. Why? Because it's so important to the game of life that we wake up and we remember that we are these beautiful, powerful, magnificent souls. And I'm only a couple of days off of my journey. I'm still very, very much connected to it. I've tried not to have very much outside interaction. I really haven't even been playing music that has songs because I needed to process this. And I can tell you two things. Number one, there is only one. There is only one magnificence source. You can call it God. I don't like that word because of the implications it has around the human religion, which taints it. And seriously, as soon as you describe other, you're not in the base of what we really are, which is one magnificent, powerful God that was trillions and trillions of times more powerful than I know we can imagine in our human minds. And the state of being of the all is eternity. It's not a time constraint, it is a state of being, and it is in a state of being of everlasting love and peace. There's just more knowledge than I can understand. And when I become it, I don't have an ego. So I can't ask questions because I am in a place of knowingness when I become that. But it was magnificently beautiful. And I just want you to know that that is what you are, the essence of who you are. No matter what is going on in your life, you can say what if to anything. You are that. We are all that. And it sounds so trite when I say that we are one, because I think we think, oh, we're one like kumbaya, like you're just like me. But you are literally me. I am literally, in that sense, you. There is no other. There's only one thing. And we have been divided, I think, for experience to be here on this earth. There is no good, better, best. Just because I've had this experience does not in any way elevate me at all. It is just part of the path that I am on, because I understand the job that I'm doing, which is anchoring love here so that others can reach that, take it, have it in whatever way. I'm a conduit, a channel. And that's it. It's that simple. And we are all doing that in different ways. We all have a very specific purpose that is unique to us. And there is no purpose that is greater than another. And you can, again, say, what about Jesus? What about an ascended master? They are not good, better, best in the state of one eternal being. So that's what I have to say about that. I see the comments are heated up. I know. I get sometimes really wrapped up in describing some of these things, but I feel very passionate about sharing this with everybody. So, okay, I'm going to come to the comments and let's take a look and see. So, all right, Juan. Hi, Juan. Thank you for joining again. Love the interview with Angie and the Wisdom Keepers. Is she coming back? Well, I would love to have her back. She is magnificent. She has not done a lot of interviews. And let me tell you, those wisdom keepers are the real thing. You heard my commentary on her interview. I had a long personal conversation with her before and after. I also got to ask the wisdom keepers 2 questions that were so spot on, things that they could not possibly have known about. And my sister exchanged a reading with Angie, and what she was told, she was completely blown away by. I have not had a chance yet to listen to her interview or her experience with the wisdom keepers, but I'm going to. And I just thought that they were phenomenal. Yes, I will love absolutely to have Angie back. Furthermore, I would love at some point of time to do a consciousness conference, and I would definitely have Angie be a part of that. I just thought she was magnificent in how she connects to these wisdom keepers. So I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Her interview is doing so well. The comments have been lively and beautiful, and I would expect nothing less from this amazing community. So thank you very much for all of you who watched her interview. If you haven't checked it out yet, highly recommend it. It was so good. I don't know what's happened lately. It's not that any of my interviews from the past are not phenomenal, but I have been just having such beautiful, deep, spiritual conversations with these people who've been coming on. Some of you have commented about Cara, who I will actually be having a personal conversation with on Friday. I'm so excited to connect with her some more. She is wise beyond wise beyond wise. I also loved my conversation with Reverend Honey Borden. I am super disappointed that her interview did not go to more people because her messages were so incredible. But yes, I did see, Juan, that you said that you feel like the interviews have been getting even better, like juicier, deeper. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but thank you, Stephanie. I always give a shout out to my sister. She is the one who reaches out to get the guests for this show, and she does a phenomenal job using her intuition for us to be able to connect with these beautiful, beautiful souls here on this channel. Okay, David, can you share about your shaman in case we're interested in our own journey? Okay, I can, but I can only do it in email form. So if you have an interest in this and this is something that you are being called to, you may email me at signs surround you, SIGNS, surround SURROUNDUYOU at gmail.com, and make sure that you're referencing this in the subject line, and I will be happy to connect you. Okay, let's see. Dr. Marn, hi, Laurie, sending you love and light from the Caribbean. Oh, St. Croix. I've been to St. Croix. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to hear your synchronicities. I have also had two very unique license plate experiences. Well, please do share. I would love to hear about them. And if it's too long and you don't want to share it here, feel free to email me at signssurroundyou at gmail.com. I love to interact. And I know I have a few people that I've got to get back to who have emailed me in the last week, but because I had people in from out of town and I'm getting ready to leave to drive to my cabin this weekend, I have been so busy. I have not had a chance to reply to deeper emails that deserve more than just a short reply. So I will be getting to my emails later on this week, probably tomorrow. Okay. Mike says, or Mikey says, hey, Laurie, I just found your channel last week. Oh, so powerful. And I think I'll be forever grateful for finding you. That makes me so happy. I do this as a labor of love. This is not something that I've made money doing, and it's not about that for me. I have a full-time corporate job, and I do this channel because it's a calling. The result of this channel is really because of a journey that I took on the winter solstice of 2020. I got a download that resulted in 60 videos called Uncover Your Soul's Purpose. And I started releasing them one by one on the channel. And then I ran out of videos and I started interviewing people who I knew who had near death experiences, like my sister and others. And here we are, 400 interviews later and 600 plus videos. We are getting ready to reach a new milestone. It should happen this month. It could happen in June, but I'm going to hit 2 million views on this channel thanks to you. That's a lot of views. When I sit down to really grasp the breadth and the depth of what that is, like think about a stadium and you'd fill stadiums up. Like how many stadiums is 2 million views? And I know it's some people watch a lot and I definitely have a core audience, but that's a lot of people and it's a lot of views. So I'm super grateful for how these interviews are helping you and how you're connecting and resonating with the information and on your journey too. So thank you for waking up and being a part of waking up the collective, because we all know it is so needed. Okay, I'm going to keep on going through the comments. So T-Dub, I'm almost home so I can watch from the beginning. Okay, fantastic. Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for the hearts back at you. Zen 733, the universe responds to our actions. Synchronicity is confirmation that the universe heard you loud and clear. Roger that. I totally agree. 100% true. Kimberly says, this morning, my number tends to 137 or 37 or 1111 or 22. As arrived at work this morning, I saw 737 on the time and saw 737 on the license plate. Love it in the same day. And look at you, so happy that you would even notice it. So many people, I think, are surrounded by synchronicities all the time, but they're just not tuned in. I've been honing this ability for a very long time. I really started to get signs and synchronicities in 2012 at the death of my passed away loved one, Mark, who has done such a magnificent job sending me signs and synchronicities all of these years that he's been gone. So, and I love that you guys get these signs and synchronicities as well. They always communicate through numbers. Numbers, I don't know what it is about, especially 1111 and the synchronistic numbers like 222, 333, etc. But they do seem to be the universe's calling card for sure. Okay, so the next question is Laurie, do you have any plans for hosting any more AZ retreats? I saw on your website that the last one was 2024. If so, I'd love to hear more. If not, there are other retreats you would recommend. Okay, here's what I'll tell you about that. So I had a different house when I was doing that. And in the last year and a half, I bought a smaller house. I sold the bigger house and I downsized and I paid off the house so that I don't have a mortgage because at some point in the very near future, I would love to be doing this full time. Technically, not old enough to retire. If you were here last Wednesday, you know that I just had a birthday on Wednesday, but I still am not retirement age where I can start to collect things. So I am trying to set myself up to at some point in time be able to do this. And I'd really like to do it where it's not about making money on any of the spiritual things. It's all about waking up the collective, and that's the main goal. So I'm getting close. I don't have that house anymore, and this house is too small for retreats. I only have 2 spare bedrooms. So I will absolutely be doing retreats at some point in time. I have talked to several different spiritual people that I've interviewed who are interested in doing this. I would likely do one in Sedona. I live about 90 minutes from Sedona, Arizona, and it's such a mecca for spirituality. There's so many things we could do there on a retreat, but yes, it is something that I intend to do in the future. You're asking me if I know of retreats, and I do know of a few people who I've interviewed who have retreats. If you will send me an email at sciencearoundyou@gmail.com, I will do my best at trying to connect you to, because there are some really great people who are doing retreats. But yes, I do plan to do some in the future. I do not have any scheduled right now. I used to do all of my own website. I have built websites, but on this particular website, I do not have the ability to change it. I need to take that down with that retreat. I'm sorry that that's still up there, but that's my sign that I need to change that on my website. But yes, okay. Okay, so Mikey says, obviously not familiar with many of your episodes since I'm new, but Cara Curry was the one who threw me for a total loop. Don't even know what to think of that. Fascinating. Okay, so I guess if I were going to talk about Cara's interview, this does not, okay, when I say these things, I sometimes don't even like to say them because I get it. Like here in the US, especially, we're so competitive, right? Everybody wants to be the best. Everybody needs a trophy. And so it is difficult sometimes for me to talk about people who I've interviewed because I've interviewed so many amazing, awake, outstanding, just over the top spiritual people. But every once in a while, I have a conversation and a soul recognition with somebody, and I see them maybe differently than the world sees them. And I'm just going to say that Cara Curry is one of those. She is such an awake human. I think she thinks she remembers 83% of her memories. She remembers past lives. She has been told by multiple autistic adults who, like, these individuals do not lie. They cannot lie. They do not have the capacity to that because communication is so difficult for them. And multiple of them have said she is 70,000 years old. Are there others who are walking the earth who are that old and that wise? Yes, probably a lot, because again, we're all one thing. So there are so many nuances to the earth experience, the earth game, this creation that I do not understand. And when I have my journey, sometimes I come back with more answers or questions than I have answers to. And there are parts of the earth experience that really, I just don't understand at all. But Cara was so awake, so advanced. It was probably for most people like watching a beyond graduate level interview because of what she understood. I had several comments where people couldn't follow her at all. And I get that. But this is why I do a wide breadth of interviews. I've interviewed people who have had near death experiences that anybody could watch and understand. Somebody who's in grade school could watch it and understand it. But then every once in a while, I get somebody on the show who we go so deep that it is hard for people to follow. And I understand that. But there are also, I think, I don't know that my channel is completely for the masses. I don't know if it really is. I feel like we go super deep. When I get ready to interview somebody, I always tell them it is my intention to ask you questions that you have never been asked before. It is actually a goal in my interview to ask them the deeper questions. I want to take the rabbit hole questions because I understand that there are so many of you who have already awakened. You've already watched the near-death experiences that will make sense to everybody, that would resonate with pretty much anybody who would watch it. And now you're wanting more answers and you have more questions and you want to go deep. So I do really love having and curating a conversation that is a collaborative conversation where we take it deep. And what I always say to everybody is take in what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. If something doesn't sound right, like doesn't resonate here or here right to you, then leave it behind. It's okay. You don't have to connect with everything. It's interesting. I'm going to call out an interview that I did about a month ago with Joanna. Joanna had what she called a near-death experience. People in the comments have gotten mad that we called it a near-death experience, but this is not my terminology. This was hers. This is how she refers to her own experience. Does it meet the clinical definition of a near-death experience? Did she clinically die? No. Was she in a situation where she was in so much stress that she would have left her body even though she didn't die? No. But that's what she called it. And that's what she called it in her book. And I honored her with that. And she had an experience that had some parts of it that were still connected to religion. And that's okay. Because of that, a ton of people came to the channel who had never been here before and they resonated with her. But there were also a lot that didn't resonate as much and were kind of disappointed in the information because it was more towards a religious slant, where most NDEs do not come back more religious. They come back more spiritual. They let go of some of the rules of religion and some of the stringency of religion. But it's okay because it brought a lot of people to the channel, and now they get to explore some of these other interviews, and maybe they're exposed to more, and maybe it helps wake them up a little bit more. So they all have a purpose, and I'm glad that you connected with Cara's, and I just wanted to put that out there and say that. And if you guys want to respond to any of what I said about that, I'm always open for it. Hi Dana. Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for your support on the channel. Okay, Juan said, I would love if there was someone who could explain the different alien races, which I don't know a lot about. Okay, not my expertise at all. If you've heard me talk about the 3-movie trilogy, to me, aliens are in part 2 of the 3-movie trilogy. They don't really have a humanness to them, and I don't know a lot about them because I just have not had contact that way. If this is an area you guys are interested in, my sister loves this area. She actually is pretty versed in it and has had some pretty cool experiences herself. So I would be open, and I have interviewed people who have talked to and connected with the Arcturians, the reptilians, the Lemurians. I mean, now we're going into more of like ancient civilizations. Then I don't know if they're necessarily aliens, but I don't know is my short answer to that question. And look, when I know something and I'll love to share what I think I know about something, but when I don't, I'm not going to fake it. I'm just going to outright say I don't know. So if that's something you're interested in, we can look for some more guests to bring on and have some conversations like that. I am all about it. Okay, Nat says, hi, Laurie. Yesterday I was thinking of my dad who is back in spirit. I'm sorry for the loss of your dad. In this moment, I felt drawn to check the time on my phone, and it was 11:41 a.m. This was his birth month and year. Hello from Australia. Oh, I love that synchronicity. I think that is so special. I want to just quickly say a lot of people who are on this channel because of a video that I posted in that first 60 videos called Uncover Your Soul's Purpose about signs and synchronicities. Early on, I had like 20,000 views on that video. It's still a top video. It's nowhere near the top because we've had so many guests now since then, and those videos have just gone to so many more people. But definitely this channel the foundation was built around signs and synchronicities. And so what I will say is that our loved ones do not die. They have merely transitioned back into a form that is different than the dimensional vibration that we are in right now. And because they have now gone on and had a life review, they are connected to you more deeply. They understand you more thoroughly than they ever could have when they were alive. They hear every single word that you have ever uttered. They feel every emotion that you have felt towards them, good, bad, mad, happy, sad, all of it. They felt it all. Not just from an outside perspective of them watching you, but they can become you, like in the life review, to feel what you are feeling. They also know what your purpose is here and the plan that you set up for yourself, the experiences that you want to have. So it makes so much sense to me that they would guide us, that they would let us know that they're around. If you're one of the people who are desperately wanting to connect to your passed away loved one and you have not, it is not at fault. I will assure you, there is no such thing as being too busy. Anybody who says that does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. On the other side, we are so powerful and we do not have a time constraint. Time is completely different. And our passed away loved ones would never be what we would call too busy. That is an earthly ego assessment of how things would work on the other side. It does not work that way. So I also don't know how much I believe that they cannot connect with us when we're in a low vibration. I think it's the opposite. I think that spirits can equally connect to us if we're in a high vibration of love, if we're in a low vibration of fear, guilt, shame, sadness, sorrow. What is different is our vibration and how we can connect to them. So if you are really, really sad, it might be that you can't really see what they're trying to put out for you because of your own vibration. So in time, if you ask for signs and synchronicities, they will begin to speak to you in whatever way will resonate with you. I 100% believe that. I do also believe in reincarnation, but I do not think, from my experiences on the other side, that a full higher self comes into a body. If we are living out multiple lifetimes at the same time, there is a teeny tiny amount, like what would be equal to your pinky fingernail. That's what I was shown when I was on the other side with this, when I would experience my higher self. So don't think that my passed away loved one has now reincarnated. They're a baby again, and now I'm not going to hear from them. It does not work that way. So your passed away loved ones are with you, and I just want you to know that. So hopefully that helps anybody who needed to hear that message today. Okay. Let's see, what else are you guys talking about? What else do you want to know? Okay, Mikey says, wow, what a refreshing organic origin story. Congrats on 2 million. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you. Like my channel, I say this at the end of every video. This channel is nothing without all of you who tune in to watch, to listen, and to share these beautiful experiences with somebody who needs them. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my soul every time I say that. Okay. One license plate synchronicity 30 years ago, praying to patron saint of mothers, Saint Gerard, to get pregnant, then saw a red Corvette that almost hit me and in slow motion, and the plate was Jared. Oh, that's amazing. I love that you got a confirmation like that. Like, what are the chances? And of course, they would make it obvious by almost hitting you with it, right? So I think this is a rendering. I think it's a lot more complex than just calling it a simulation, but it is a thought rendering. And within thought rendering, with no time on the other side, anything and everything is possible. So thank you for sharing that beautiful synchronicity. That's amazing. Okay, Zen says 7, 3, 3, and 11, 11 seem to be the ones I see a lot. That's great. So you know how the universe is working to get your attention, and it's so specific. Everything is so specific to an individual, and I just think that that makes it even more beautiful and special. And like, how much does that show the love that we are being given from the other side? That it's not so generic that everybody gets the same thing. We're all individual, beautiful, magnificent souls having this experience on our own individualized journey. So, of course, a loving, abundant, magnificently powerful being on the other side would send us exactly what would resonate and make us feel loved. So, so special. Again, another one more reason why these are not coincidences and that they are so special for us. Okay, another license plate. Thinking of my late grandfather, Bernhardt, then saw his unusual name on a license plate. At the same time, saw his name on a street sign and on a billboard for a realtor. Wow. Oh, I love that. Okay, I want to read that again. So you were thinking of your late grandfather, Bernhardt, not a common name, Bernhardt, and then you saw his name on a license plate and at the same time saw his name on a street sign and on a billboard for a realtor. Like, I don't even know when I've ever seen that name. That's amazing. I will share a super cool thing you just reminded me of. My great grandmother died when I was 10 years old, and my great grandfather lived 20 years past her. And I had this cool experience where I received one gift from him when he died in the will, which was this beautiful hope chest from the 1900s. But it was kind of scratched up and it was all wood, but it wasn't super nice. And it didn't really match my furniture. So at one point in time, I had relegated it to my master bedroom closet. And it was just holding some blankets and sitting hidden because it didn't match. And one day I was baking cookies. And I put the cookies in the oven and I had a thought, wonder if I could refinish that hope chest. There, I guess, was a part of me that kind of thought it's an antique and you don't touch an antique. But I thought I stopped what I was doing. I went in the master bedroom closet and I sat there and I just looked at that hope chest and I thought, why not? It's mine. I'm not enjoying it here in the closet. But if I could refinish it and make it beautiful, maybe I could actually put it someplace where I would see it all the time. And so I did just that. And the day after I refinished it, I was driving and I saw my great grandmother's name, her last maiden name, on a license plate in front of me, like as I was thinking about that hope chest. So, yes, for sure, they find ways to get our attention. And I love that you shared that about you had a thought and saw it in 3 different ways. So thank you very much for taking the time to share that story with everybody. Okay. Zen says, thank you for all of the interviews. I have really gotten a lot from them. Oh, that makes me so happy. Hi, Tammy. Tammy is a big supporter on the channel. Tammy has been hyping the videos lately. I really don't understand the hype feature. I found it once by accident, but there's a way that you can hype videos. And if Tammy, if you want to put in the chat what you do to do this, it does something to YouTube to help more people to see the videos. So if there's something that really stands out, that really hits your heart, maybe you can figure out how to hype a video, because all of everything that you do on this channel, watching the video helps. Liking it, commenting on it, all of it. But even if the only thing you ever did was watch it, I'm so grateful, because that's really the main thing that counts on these channels, is that you are getting something from the content. This is why I do it. So thank you. So Tammy said, I tuned in when you said I'm planning retreats and I got those happy chills. Really looking forward to meeting you. I know at some point in time, Tammy, I am positive that you and I are going to meet in person. Really super positive about that. Hi, Donna, another person who is on the channel and sends me comments all the time. You guys, I want to cry saying this because this is like such a special thing. You guys have no idea. I recognize you. I know who is on this channel. I know who supports it. I know who is constantly communicating with me about what they like about the videos. And I smile so big when I see messages from people and I start to get to know you and recognize you. I'm just so grateful that people take the time. I'm not a commenter. You will hardly ever see me write comments on videos. I just have never done that. So I really super appreciate it when people do it, because I know it is not the most common thing to do. And it's always a chance for me to get to know you, what you think, how you resonated, or maybe where a message didn't hit the mark. Like, I really take in what you say, and I am just really, really pleased. And then to see you guys taking time out to be on the live. Thank you so much for everybody for who was here. Hi, Cheryl. Honey and Angie blew me away. Love them both so much. Yes, yes, and yes. I totally agree. I'm just such a surprise when I sat down to do those interviews, how deep they were. Just amazing. Actually, so there are 3 lately that when I did the interview, I had to watch them back again because they hit me so hard. One time doing the interview wasn't going to be enough. And it was Honey, and it was Cara, and it was Angie. I rewatched all of their videos after I interviewed them because they were just like, I needed to absorb them from a different perspective of not being in the conversation. Okay, let's see. Donna said, your interview with her was incredible. She's incredible. I agree. Diane, hello. I'm glad your channel is not for the masses. That's funny. I don't know why you said that, but it made me laugh. Okay. Melody, hello. You have a question. So I've been a very awake human being as well, but I struggle with being open about it to the public for a few reasons. What should I do? Well, Melody, you're on your path, and it is up to you whether you feel the draw to share that with somebody or not. It's such a personal decision, and there is no right or wrong answer. I really can't tell you what to do or even recommend for you what to do, because I kind of feel that if you are drawn to share something and like in your heart you're feeling drawn, do it. And do it. But don't ever feel like you have to do anything. These experiences are pretty sacred. Sometimes I think people probably walk away from me after a conversation going, what? Like, she might be a little bit crazy. I get it. This is a lot of the reason why you will hear me talk about some earthly things on my channel, like having a corporate job, being in technology, working for these big corporations. I feel like when I'm talking that way, when I'm talking about those things, it's because I'm trying to build credibility with people who would take a lot of things that I'm saying as woo woo and maybe not very grounded. And so I try to let people know I might be super, super spiritual, having been on the other side many times. I can have these deep spiritual conversations, but I also have a successful corporate career, and I am a scientific person, and I am not just one thing. None of us are just one thing, but I do understand the stigma that comes with these conversations. The good news is they are becoming more and more and more mainstream, or I wouldn't have the views I have, or people like Alex wouldn't have reached 1 million followers doing this. And then I go to shows like Diary of a CEO, and he's talking to people who have had some kind of a connection with the other side. Like, these are definitely going to be more and more mainstream. So more people are waking up. It will be less stigmatized. But for right now, I understand why you struggle being open. And if you're going to put yourself in a situation where people will look at you in a certain way and it will affect, let's say, a career, then don't talk about it. I don't talk all day long at my corporate job to just everybody about what I do, but I definitely have people who I know are open and I can have conversations with. So I think you kind of know, just maybe feel it out a little bit before you dive in super deep. Maybe just mention something and see how somebody reacts to it. And then if you feel drawn, have the conversation. But I always say conversations, like these spiritual conversations, I don't care if it's somebody at the grocery store or one of my interviews or just somebody I'm working with, they feed my soul. I love having these conversations. And for me, that's just something that I feel comfortable doing, but I do understand why not everybody does. So I hope that helps. Okay. Mikey says, that's exactly it, Laurie. She was speaking in what I've been programmed to think of as psychosis delusional, but it resonated 100% like I believe it in my gut. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Exactly. So there are energy sequences that I think happen that are an alert of truth. I'll run through a couple of them for you. Number one is goosebumps. You sit there and you try as hard as you can. I bet in 1 hour, you cannot make yourself have goosebumps. It is not something that can be forced. It's something that happens organically. And you will hear me call it out a lot of times when I'm in an interview and it happens to me. I've been called out in the comments where people are like, why are you sharing that? We don't care. You're having them. The reason I share it is because it was an energy recognition. It is a confirmation for the person I'm talking to. It's a way that I am letting somebody know that I resonated deeply with something that they said, but it's also for people who are watching. And many times I have people say, "Oh, I got goosebumps at the same time you got goosebumps." So again, it's a confirmation. So we cannot fake those. Some people get other things like ringing in their ears. I have this super weird thing that I get. I've been getting it for years and years and years. I still don't fully understand it, but I do know it's connected sometimes with hearing truths. And that is like in only my left ear, I will feel the hair inside my ear stand on end. So, like when you get goosebumps in your hair on your arm stands up, that happens inside my ear. And I've connected it with truth or spirit being around me, but it only happens in the left ear. And I don't know what it is about the left ear. I've had a lot of people say that they get something in the left ear or ringing, something else, maybe spirit talks in the left ear. I don't know. But those are things that we cannot fake. And I think that those are extreme examples of how we resonate with energy. We are energetic beings. That is science. That is a fact. So, of course, we are going to resonate energetically with different things. So, I think that those are all amazing. And thank you that you resonated in your gut because you can't make that up. Okay. Chris says, hi. Tamara, hi Tamara. My son had an NDE and saw his pets and grandparents. How beautiful is that? How old was your son when he had his NDE? I'm curious. Tammy said, thank you for exposing us to synchronicities. What an eye opening part of life that is ignored. It happens all the time to me now. I believe if you recognize them and have gratitude, it's constant. I'm glad that you brought up the gratitude part. I think gratitude is such a big part of my everyday life, earth experience. I feel like I'm in gratitude all the time for the small things and for the big things. But I think that that is a vibration that definitely opens you up to the other side, connects you more to nature and to just the beauty of life, right? Okay, let's see. Tamara says, I prayed and I got a miracle. So hang in there, everybody. I love that. Crystal says, love from Nairobi, Kenya. Oh my gosh, what time is it for you? Your interviews are so appreciated. Well, thank you for joining me from across the globe. I have been to Africa. I was fortunate enough last year to visit Egypt. What a beautiful country. And thank you so much for tuning in, especially because of the time zone difference. It's got to be very late or early in the morning for you. Thank you, Tammy, for your support on this channel. Tamara, I agree, a rendering. Chris said, oh, I love the Hope Chest story. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you for loving that. That was super special to me. I loved my great grandpa. That was my hardest death until Mark died. That was a really, really difficult one for me. I was 21. He died a couple days before my wedding, and I spent a lot of time at his farm. I have so many memories of him. Oh my gosh, what an incredible human. And how cool. I haven't had a lot of connections or signs from him, but that was so big. Oh, the other part of the Hope Chest, I forgot. There's one other part. So remember I said that I was making the cookies and I decided to do this. And so that's the day that I decided to make the project happen. And then I thought, it's November. I know my grandpa's birthday is in November, but I couldn't remember the date. I called my dad, and that date that all that happened was his birthday, by the way. So sorry, I forgot to add like the biggest part of the synchronicity of that story. But I was also concentrated on telling the part about the license plate with my great grandma. Okay, let's see. Tammy said comments. That's not gibberish. Hype doesn't work on lives or shorts. FYI, everybody did not know that. Thank you. None of us are just one thing. Yes, thank you. Cheryl, I find that spirit speaks through me when I share to people without even thinking about it. And they look at me usually and say, wow, how do you do that? It makes me smile. Oh, thank you for sharing that. All right. Diane said, I meant it in a very complimentary way. Maybe those were not the right words. You have a very special channel and I really love everything about it. Oh, I didn't take anything as not complimentary at all, Diane. And actually, now I'm so many comments away, I cannot even remember exactly what you said. But thank you. Of course, I would not think that you were doing anything that was complimentary. Tammy said, since you work in the medical field, I did. This was a long time ago. I left Pfizer. Oh my gosh, I worked for them for 7 years, and that was like starting in 2005. It's been a long time since I've worked for them, but I do really keep up on a lot of medical things. I do, especially anti-aging. But Tammy said, since you work in the medical field, do you know about any pain medication that isn't narcotic but works as good or better? My husband is on 20 milligrams of pain. Okay, yes, I do. I sold Celebrex. I'm making this super short because I'm sure not everybody else is interested in it. But if your husband is allowed to take NSAIDs are pain mediators. They are inflammation reductions. And they are a category that includes aspirin, ibuprofen, naproxen sodium, which is also called Aleve, not Tylenol. Tylenol is not an NSAID. But the problem with NSAIDs is that their most common adverse event when you take them, especially for a long period of time for pain that's more chronic, is perforated ulcerations, which is a bleeding in the intestines. And several thousand people die per year from this because they're usually older patients who just take them on their own without the recommendation and supervision of a physician or a medical health provider. So all of that being said, Celebrex is a really, really wonderful NSAID that doesn't have as much of the side effect profile as others. It's also something that doesn't affect the antiplatelet activity like aspirin does. So if you're having a surgery, it's usually the only NSAID pain reduction, inflammation reduction that you can stay on during your surgery. You usually have to stop everything else. So it might be worth looking into. It's been really miraculous for a lot of people, and it is definitely not addicting because it's an NSAID. So INSAID is what I'm saying. So hopefully that helps, Tammy. And you can hit me up on my email, sciencearoundyou@gmail.com, if you need more from me. Dana, I want to ditto on synchronicities. You are showing and teaching me to pay attention more. Oh, that makes me so happy. It's my pleasure to do that. They have been such a massive part of my life. And then Diane Montgomery, I'm sure Laurie took your compliment positively. She said her podcast isn't always for the masses. Laurie's podcast is the best. Thank you very much. Laurie, you have many followers and like-minded souls. I definitely agree. I feel like I have the most beautiful community. I mean, look at you guys. You guys come here on these lives. You participate in the comments. You support each other in the comments, which is so, so wonderful. I love it. I feel so lucky to be doing this. Donna said, home from work, happy to be here. Donna, always happy to have you here. Okay, you guys, I have been, we love you. I love you guys so, so, so much. I am so full of love for everybody who tunes in. We are all one. You are so beautiful. You are so powerful. I want to thank you. We've been on here for almost an hour, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time back. I have to continue packing. I am getting ready to get on the road on Friday. I'm so excited to get to see my sister on Saturday. My little sister lives in Kansas. I'm driving to my cabin. For those of you who don't know, I live in Arizona, and I have a little teeny tiny 950 square foot log cabin in the middle of the woods in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, like 10 minutes from Lake Superior. I am not escaping from the Arizona heat. I actually love the Arizona heat, but I lived in Chicago for 25 years and I had a log cabin a long time ago. And I love the things that I can do there. I will spend all summer recharging my batteries. What I do is I do 5 interviews a week for this channel. And that is if none of them cancel. Sometimes that happens, but I do 5 interviews a week. And then I spend a good part of my evenings and almost all weekend editing because it takes so much. I produce 2 now full-length videos on Tuesday and Friday and shorts on all the other days. And it just takes so much time to answer comments and do all the things that go into a channel. And so to give myself a little bit of a break, usually I bank up a whole bunch of interviews and then I just spend the couple months I'm at my cabin editing. It didn't work out this way this time, and I do have to do some interviews, but I'm only doing 2 a week, and then I'm going to take the entire month of August off. And if I can really get myself in gear with the editing, I would even get myself to the point where I wasn't even editing. And I will kayak and hike in the woods, and I will blueberry pick and pick like hundreds of cups of blueberries and just like be in nature in this meditative state with my dog Blaze. So we're getting ready to get in the car on Friday and drive 2,000 miles to my cabin. I'm so happy to be going up there. I'm not going to be happy for the mosquitoes, but Blaze, you're here. Come here. I'm going to let Blaze say hi to everybody. Come here. She's getting so big. Here she is. Here's my girl. This is Blaze. She is the most loving dog. She's just so special, and I just feel so lucky to have her as my little companion. She hikes with me every day, and she has discovered the pool recently, and now she keeps on getting in the pool up to her legs and then walking in through her doggy door. And what is on my hand? And getting water all over my house. So I guess it'll be really good to go to the cabin where she can't do that, but we're getting ready to do some car traveling, but I will be here next week. So I will be arriving to my cabin on Monday, on Memorial Day, for those of you who are in the US, and I will be doing my live from the cabin. So this is not a fake background, by the way. This is my mural. It's a 9-foot mural I installed in my house. It's going to look a little bit different. I probably will just let myself have my natural log walls. Maybe I'll sit on my swing port, like my porch swing in the backyard in my screened-in porch, and maybe I'll do my lives out there. We'll see. But I will be here next Wednesday. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time. I want to remind you again, you are a powerful, beautiful soul. You are love. We are all one, and you can do anything that you want with your life. It is yours to experience. So thank you for taking a little bit of your lifetime to be here with me tonight. And as always, thank you for what you guys are doing to help wake up the collective. It is so needed right now. And I will see you guys next Wake Up Wednesday. Bye-bye, everybody.